Hello, myself Professor Pallavi Gule. So today we are going to see about the water and soil conservation techniques. So soil conservation is using and managing the land based on the capacities of the land itself, involving application of the best management practices leading to the profitable crop production without land degradation. So agronomic measures for soil and water conservations are, so in the soil and water conservation program, agronomic measures have been considered in coordination with the others for their effectiveness. The measures are effective in low rainfall areas, particularly in fairly erosion resistant soils having the general slope of 2%. Different agronomical measures are land preparation, contour cultivation, choice of crops, strip cropping, crop rotation, cover crops, mulching, application of manures and fertilizers, and application of chemicals. So first we'll see about the land preparation. So land preparation, including the post-harvest tillage, influences intake of water, obstruction to the surface flow, and consequently the rate of erosion. Deep ploughing or chiseling has been found effective in reducing erosion. Rough loading surface is also effective in reducing erosion. So next we'll see that is the contour cultivation. A line joining a point of equal elevation is called as contour. All the cultural practices such as ploughing, sowing, intercultivation, etc. is done across the slope to reduce the soil and water loss. By ploughing and sowing across the slope, each ridge and flow furrow and each row of the crop act as an obstruction to the runoff and provide a more time for water to enter into the soil, leading to the reduced soil and water losses. Third one is the choice of the crops. So the row crops or the tall growing crops such as sorghum, maize, pearl millet is not protective in conservation of the soil as they expose the majority of the soil known as erosion permitting crops. Whereas the close growing crops such as the cowpea, groundnut, green gram, black gram which protect the soils are known as the soil erosion resistant crops as they are very effective in reducing the soil losses by minimizing the impact of the raindrop and acting as an obstruction to the runoff. Next, we'll see about strip cropping. So, agronomical practices in which ordinary crops are planted grown in the form of relatively narrow strip across the land slope. This method becomes more effective for the erosion control, which it is followed with a crop rotation in area where the terraces are not practically feasible. So the strip cropping checks the surface runoff and force them to infiltrate into the soil, thereby facilitating to conservation of rainwater. Generally, the use of the strip cropping practices for soil conservation is decided in those areas where the length of slope is not too longer. So, advantages of these are reducing the runoff flow through the close growing short strips, increasing the infiltration rate of the soil under cover condition. Next is the crop rotation. So crop rotation, monocropping of the erosion permitting crops accelerate the soil and water loss year after year. So intercropping of the erosion permitting crop and erosion resisting crops or their rotation has been found effective for reducing the soil and water loss. Inclusion of the legumes in the crop rotation reduces the soil loss even in the soils having 13% of slope. Next, we'll see about the cover crops. So, good ground cover by the canopy gives a protection to the land like an umbrella and minimizes the soil erosion. Besides conserving the soil and moisture, the cover crop holds those soluble nutrients which are lost by leaching. The third advantage of the cover cropping is the addition of the organic matter. The legume provides a better cover and better protection. Among the legume, cowpea has been found to produce the maximum canopy, followed by the horse gram, green gram, black gram, and the hinja. Next one is the mulching. So, mulching of the soil with available plant residues reduces the soil loss considerably by protecting the soil from the direct impact of the raindrop and reducing the sediments carried with runoff. A minimum place plant residues cover of 30% is necessary to keep the runoff and the soil loss within the acceptable limits. Vertical mulching also reduces the soil loss, particularly in the vertisoils, by increasing infiltration. Application of manures and fertilizers. So, organic manures, besides supplying the nutrients, improves the soil physical conditions, thereby reduce the soil losses. Fertilizers improve the vegetative canopy, which aids in erosion control. Application of the chemicals. Soil with a stable aggregate resists the breakdown and thus resists erosion. Aggregate stability can be increased by spraying of the chemicals like polyvinyl alcohol. Soil treated with butadiene increases the water stability, water stable aggregates and infiltration capacity of the soil. Mechanical and the engineering measures of soil conservation. So, mechanical measures usually involve construction of the mechanical barriers across the direct flow of the rainwater to retard or retain the runoff and thereby reduce the soil and water loss. So, different mechanical measures includes contour bending, graded bunds, bench terracing, gully control, and vegetative barriers. First, we'll see about the contour bending. So, contour bending is a proven sustainable land management practices for the marginal, sloping, and hilly lands where the soil productivity is very low. Contour bending consists of the narrow-based trapezoid bunds on the contour to impound runoff water behind them so that it can gradually infiltrate into the soil for the crop use. Generally recommended for the areas receiving more than 600 mm of the rainfall. Spacing between the two bunds is commonly expressed in terms of vertical invertal, which is difference in the elevation between two similar points on two consecutive bunds. Formula in used for determining the spacing of the bunds is vertical inverter is equal to S slash A plus B, where the vertical VI is a vertical inverter between the consecutive bunds. S is the percent of the land, A and B are the constant, depends on the soil and rainfall characteristics. The height of the contour bunds depends on the slope of the land, spacing of the bunds, and maximum intensity accepted. In deep black soils, contour bunds have been a failure due to the cracking of the bunds during a dry months and water stagnation above the bunds for the prolonged period during the rainy season. Next, we'll see about the graded bunds. So, constructed in the high rainfall areas of more than 600 millimeters, where the excessive water has been removed safely of the seed to avoid water stagnation. In the case of the highly impermeable soils like deep black soils, graded bunds are recommended even in the lesser rainfall areas, as in the case of the Barley regions of Karnataka. Water flows in the graded channels constructed on upstream sides of the bunds at non-erosive velocities and is led to the safe outlets or grassed waterways. Channel portion of the graded bunds is put under the cultivation and the grassed waterways are permanently kept under grass. Bench terracing. Practiced in the steep, high, hilly slopes where the mere reduction of the slope length is not adequate for reducing the intensity of a scoring action of the rainfall runoff flow down. In addition to the slope length reduction, the degree of the slope is also reduced. Bench terracing consists of transforming a relatively steep ladder to the series of level strips or the platform across the slope to reduce the slope length and consequently the erosion. The field is made into the series of the benches by excavating the soil from the upper part and filling it in the lower part of the terraces. It is normally practiced on the slopes of more than 14%, that is from 16 to 33%. So, depending on the soil climate, crop requirement, bench terraces may be table topped or level sloped outwards or sloping inwards. Next one is the vegetative barriers. So these are the rows of the closely planted grass or the shrubs along the contours for the erosion control in agricultural land. They check the velocity of the runoff and retain the sediments by acting as a barrier to the runoff. Hibiscus, that is a Vetiveria zizinoides, is the most commonly recommended plant for this purpose. Grassed waterways. These are the drainage channels either developed by sharing the existing drainage ways. Objectives of the grassed waterways are to provide the drainage to the agricultural land, to convert unstable channels or the gullies into the stable channels by providing the grass waterways, for leading the water non-erosive velocities into the farm ponds. Grass waterways are normally dug to shallow depth of 0.15 to 0.5 meter. so this was all about soil and water conservation measures. Thank you.